How's it going, everybody? Combo here. Today we got 5 quick tips with the SA1216, and man, do I gotta say, this thing can put out a ton of damage. In my opinion, this is probably the best shotgun in the game. If you're a skilled player, if you're a new player, you will probably have success with this thing as long as you know what you're doing, which is my goal here today. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Starting things out at number 1, and something you'll see with all the shotguns that I use and all throughout this video is hip firing. Now you'll notice, right, if I am strafing while not aiming down sights, I move pretty slow because I'm a heavy, but if I aim down sights, holy crap, I am moving at a snail's pace. Now you might say, well, why not aim down sights? Because it'll group the pellets more. Well, that's actually not true. As you can see here, if I shoot one while aimed on sights and then hit fire right next to it, you'll notice they are the exact same. So in my opinion, and as you can see, this is basically empirical, it really does not make sense to aim down sights unless you're trying to like snipe targets from a distance. But even then, don't do that because you're wasting ammo. Generally speaking, you should be hip firing because you're gonna move faster and you're really not sacrificing anything other than just getting used to it. So keep that in mind. If you're aiming down sights, you're just standing still. If you're hip firing, you're at least moving a little bit quicker. Next up at number 2, we have a very important technique that you can utilize to still deal damage while this thing is in its pumping animation. So as most people know, after you fire 4 rounds with the SA1216, you have to pump the weapon, and this kind of creates a hard stop for your damage. So right here, as you can see, 4 shots and I pump it. This time I will hold down the trigger after that pumping animation is done so you can see the fastest I can fire it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pumping, that is the fastest I can fire it. While you're doing that pumping animation, as I said, normally you can't really do much. However, there is a very easy way to cancel this and still deal damage. That being with your quick melee. So as you can see right here, if I fire these rounds, quick melee, I don't have to do that animation and I can continue shooting. This is very good because it allows you to keep dealing damage when otherwise you would not be able to. So let's say, for example, right, I miss 2 shots, I go up to this heavy target, I can quick melee while that's pumping, and that might actually save my life, or if a target's injured, that quick melee might be enough to finish them off. So keep that in mind, a very easy way to bypass that animation and keep your damage consistent. Next up at number 3, we have a technique using the specialist ability Mesh Shield that not only allows you to be more aggressive with the SA1216, but also bypass that pumping animation that I showed previously. So as we said, 4 rounds, you have to pump it, you can cancel out with a quick melee, but you have another option. First off, the Mesh Shield just pairs so well with this thing because you can get right in someone's face, take this thing down, and as you can see right here, do a ton of damage. Basically, you get to be invincible, get in someone's face, and mess them up. But what's wonderful about the Mesh Shield, you can also use it to cancel the pumping animation. So as you can see right here, once I fire 4 rounds, swap over to the Mesh Shield, swap back, I don't have to cock that. And what's really useful about that is once you're firing those rounds, especially if you're trying to get in someone's face, let's say I want to weaken this target, 1, 2, 3, 4, pop my shield up, and when I get in his face, I don't have to pump it and I can just keep doing damage. The Mesh Shield is very powerful when combined with the SA1216, and I definitely recommend that you give it a try. Next up at number 4, we have the Charge and Slam combo. Now you're probably thinking, is he just going to use these specialist abilities for the rest of the tips? No, I'm not. I'm more cultured than that. But I do want to differentiate the Charge and Slam combo from the Mesh Shield because in my opinion they fill different niches. The Mesh Shield does good at being defensive and playing your life, while of course you can rush targets down, the survivability is very high. The Charge and Slam combo is not that. The Charge and Slam combo is all about dealing as much damage as possible, and I truly believe if you do this correctly, this may be the highest damage combo in all of the finals as far as DPS goes, other than a nuke because, well, nukes just kind of one-shot you. But the way this works, right, you are going to run at your target, slide, this does 2 things, it conserves your momentum, as well as kind of lowers your profile, so it makes targets time hitting you a bit more difficult. You're going to fire all 4 rounds. Once you hit that pumping animation, you're going to activate the Charge and Slam. The Charge and Slam acts similar to the Mesh Shield. It is going to cancel the pumping animation, so when you hit that target, you are going to have your shotgun fully ready to fire more rounds. Once you hit that target with the Charge and Slam, you don't want to run through them. You want to cancel the Charge and Slam as soon as you hear that hit marker. When you're in your face, when you're in their face rather, you're going to fire all of those 4 rounds that were loaded because of your animation cancel. So in essence, it's gonna look a little something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, Charge and Slam in his face, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see right there, you know, you might say that seems a little situational, but the ability to do this, especially at targets that are a little bit further away, let's say they're a little hurt, this, in my opinion, people don't know how to play against this. Once I slide at them, 1, 2, 3, 4, because you're moving so fast and so aggressively, even if you miss the charge and slam, because that cancels your animation and gives you that speed boost, just being able to get in the target's face is so useful. Practice this, tell me what you think. In my opinion, this is super, super strong. I don't see people taking advantage of it, and if you master it, I promise it will be rewarding. And finally, at number 5, we have the Goo Grenade Synergy. You thought I was gonna say Goo Gun, but it's actually the Goo Grenade. And there's a couple reasons for this. Firstly, because you're using a weapon that is very effective in close range, not so much at longer ranges, being able to create cover for yourself is very useful. Now you can do this with a barricade, but being able to throw your cover is very useful. Let's say this target's trying to take me out, I throw down my cover so he can't see me. Let's say I want to engage even further, I underhand it like so. As you can see, I get in his face, I made more cover, now I can push up on him and do some damage. Another thing you can do with this, if a target is trying to leave an area, you can block a doorway and trap them so you can get in their face. You can also use this with the charge and slam to go through goo and get in a target's face. Finally, I wouldn't recommend doing this because it can be a little difficult. You can also just trap your target in goo, which is very useful because if a target's trying to run away and you completely stop their movement, this can be very easy to get those kills. So just keep the Goo Grenade in mind. It synergizes so well with the SA1216, and I promise you it will serve you well. Anyways guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. This is the last shotgun that we have covered. Until they add more, all of these shotguns have been finished now, which is really cool to think about because all of them play very differently. And honestly, genuinely, I think they're all in a pretty balanced spot. Even though this thing does a ton of damage, because you kind of have to play to its strengths and get in people's faces, I really don't think it's that big a deal at the moment. If you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, as well as if I missed anything or if you thought some of the tips weren't that great. But anyways guys, this has been Combo. Thank you so much for coming and watching, and yeah, peace out everybody. Later.